Fernando is so primed for this, but like I've been waiting for weeks. Why is everyone hanging around?
I got a fig in my hand. Hold on.
Beautiful.
Well,
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Maybe the first time ever.
Have you been practicing?
Oh,
Yeah. Now that I've got the time.
we can start as we mean to continue, right? How long has it been since we met? It must be about 6 weeks.
Feels like a lifetime.
Come through a very dark time.
Yeah.
Did I like?
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations again.
Thank you very much.
Was it worth
All
it just
upwards from
to
here.
come back to film club?
That's the only thing that got me through.
I thought it might be.
Yeah. Let's not specify what it was.
Yeah, it's just
No
Laura's
one's
divorce.
fucking listening anyway.
There's a couple of confused Canadians there.
So, Michael,
Hmm.
got anything you'd like to say?
I chose the Time Machine, as specified before, the 1960 version, not the 2002 version with Samantha Mumba. I hope we all watched the right version.
I thought you said 2002.
You'd have been very disappointed. However, maybe you were a little disappointed anyway, even with the correct version of the film. What did we think?
I thought it was a bit boring.
I thought it was great.
Aha!
Oh no.
I guess I was not very disappointed because I had previously read, what was it by age? I think The War of the Worlds,
Yeah.
which was disappointing.
Okay.
So it's like, oh, this is just like The War of the Worlds.
Right.
Somehow it isn't very interesting.
Right.
But I still enjoyed it better than many other films.
Good stuff.
What do you think?
I was not bored, but I did think it was a bit rubbish. Yeah, it was it had some good points, but it was naff in a lot of
Yeah.
ways.
The effects were poor.
The effects were laughably poor.
Where
Yeah.
are they? They were all right.
Oh, dreadful stuff.
I particularly enjoyed the models that were obviously very small.
Yeah. Oh God.
No.
So the lava hitting the cars that could not more obviously have been little
Yeah.
toy cars
That's
with a
true.
camera pointed at them. Stuff like the Morlocks. They were like original series of Star Trek level of just someone in a full body suit, without really any attempt at I don't know. Just a bit naff. But you were okay with that?
Yeah.
Great.
Wait, it was 1960. Come on. It was your imagination.
I suppose so. Yeah, I wasn't expecting anything amazing, but I feel like even for the time they could have done a lot better. But yeah, I sort of enjoyed it. Fernando, did you think it was a good film?
Well, I think I'm also like Laura okay with the poor
Special effects?
special effects.
Yeah.
Because I was also thinking, well, this is a very old movie.
Yeah.
I think I was more disappointed with the story itself. Although maybe I'm not disappointed with the story itself.
Yeah.
Because, again, it reminded me of a video that I think I've shared with you about history and how knowledge isn't like natural, and then maybe we're going in an upward curve right now, but like throughout history it looks like a sine curve instead, and maybe that's what happened.
This was the Vlogbrothers video.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a really interesting one that I enjoyed.
Still, I thought then. No, maybe I did like it. I'm actually very much
Okay.
liking it now, yes.
Interesting.
Oh,
I think you talked yourself into that. Then.
That's good. If it made you think something sort of genuine and profound about humanity, then that's
Yes.
one tick box for a good film, isn't it?
Mhm.
He was annoyingly unsystematic about his approach to travelling to the future.
If Laura says that, then we've really got... Yeah. I noticed that there was a lot going on that made me think, like, what are you doing? This is not how you would do it. And I think for me, they saved that a bit by making it clear how reckless and disconnected from his own time he was. The fact that he wasn't even taking any precautions to make sure that he could still go back or anything like that. He was just utterly uncaring. That I think they built that into his character a bit.
Didn't even take any food.
Yeah.
Take a sandwich, wouldn't you?
Yeah, take a bloody sandwich. Is he wearing his dressing gown as well? Looked like a sort of
It's that
coat.
smoking jacket maybe or something like that.
Gotta be something like that.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the whole. We talked about it in Songcatcher how they just wear so many clothes. It was the guy turning up, the Scottish fellow, turning up at the beginning and like taking off his jacket and then taking off another jacket and then still having 3 jackets on underneath, but all with slightly different styles. And he was still wearing 3 when he got into the room. I was wondering if he was going to take another one off.
Fashion choices of the Eli were remarkably similar to the period in which the film was.
It's odd,
it's funny
isn't
that.
it? Yeah.
Elegance is timeless.
Very true.
There was a lot of 60s influence on the film. If either of you didn't know, the book was written in 1899 or around then.
Right.
And there were some departures. Who's read the book?
I've read the book. I
You've
never
read
put
it?
my hand up there.
Yeah,
That
okay.
wouldn't have been much good for
I feel like I've read the book because it's one of those books that I think they made me read at school.
Okay, it's a short one. It's,
I never read it.
yeah, okay. I guess you call it a novella. It's sort of much shorter than War of the Worlds, for example. But I just loved it. I read it quite a few years ago, and I think I've read it once since. And it was just so well put together and such a good story. And I thought this film really didn't live up to it in quite a few different ways.
What's different?
One thing is they put the 60s spin on it. First, because I've got a few notes on what was different about it. Can you remember what was different about it? I'd like to hear your view.
I don't remember a lot of details, but I forget, like, so they dealt with the 2 world wars, and I don't remember there being any sort of dramatic sort of like commas in his story, like little incidents along the way. I don't remember like the doodle bombs and stuff and the blitz. Like I don't remember what was in place of that in the story. They kind of just felt like I was just waiting for him to get to the Morlocks the whole time, because that's what I remember. I remember being really scared of the Morlocks.
Yeah.
I think I must have been quite young when I read it.
Oh, are you sure of that? Because I feel like I recommended it to you 3 or 4 years ago, and you read it and said, "Oh, that was good." Maybe I've got that wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was when I was going through my phase of reading all the books that everyone else reads at school.
Okay.
After I'd left school and not read any of those books.
Oh, that's good. I found the Morlocks scary in the book, and not at all in this. Just laughable in this.
Yeah, like I don't remember the book very well, so I can't really criticise it in comparison to the book.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no problem. You're right. So the first thing that I noticed was those commas, as you say, that obviously it was written before the First World War, so they didn't know that there were going to be these 2 world wars, and they had no concept of like a nuclear bomb.
There's no need to know because they were travelling through time.
Yeah, fair enough. But H.G. Wells didn't travel through time, I don't think, as far as we know, could have done.
Was it not a documentary?
No, I don't think it was a documentary, although we'd never believe it if it were. I think that was part of the point at the end.
Yeah.
To be fair, he didn't put much effort into making him You know, like, bring something back, for God's sake.
Yeah.
They brought back the flower.
That was an accident.
A flower by accident, yeah. Not, so one of the rings. Imagine what you could have done with one of those. Yeah. Change the world. But yes, part of the 60s twist was the future of humanity as it was seen in the 60s was very different from how H.G. Wells saw it. In the 60s, I think people had a serious fear that within the decade nuclear war could have destroyed half of civilization, whereas in the early 1900s there was no even concept of that. There's some idea of, well, there is this thing called war, but before the First World War I don't think they'd quite had that idea that we could do something terrible that's going to destroy civilization. So it was a story that he just went ahead and found the Eloi and the Morlocks, and he described this as the result of human progress in technology and stuff, resulted in these two. And rather than having it all through the lens of there was this 300-year nuclear war that changed everything, it was just we went further and further down the road of sort of Victorian industrialisation. So it was an odd one. It seemed like the Morlocks were the successors of, like, the Wardens from Dad's Army. They're like,
what?
They blow the whistle and everyone goes in like it's an air raid, and then they give the all clear. Where that was certainly not what was happening in the book. In the book, the Morlocks were coming out at night and snatching the Eloi. And he explained that there were quite a few things in here that H.G. Wells went into quite interesting scientific ideas, and he didn't do that. It just didn't come through in the film at all. They were, I think, more interested in, you know, rescuing the pretty damsel and hitting funny men with sticks.
It's just so...
But it was explained as what H.G. Wells said was, in our day, even now, the working man, he thought about it almost through a Marxist lens, I guess. He thought of working people and the sort of industrial bourgeoisie, and that the working people barely ever see daylight as it is, and he saw that as going on, and eventually them just living underground and working underground and developing into a different race altogether with different characteristics that could barely bear to look at the light, and the people above developing into this weak over race that eventually managed to conquer nature so much that because there was no danger of any kind, they ended up just becoming weak and helpless and losing their curiosity and being uninterested in everything, and just acting like children, just walking around without a care in the world, and occasionally getting snatched by the Morlocks, who still provided them with clothes because they still had this built-in kind of a social structure that had turned into biology. That they ended up just doing this because that's what they had done for so long, and that was quite an interesting idea. And I feel like their twist on it here, where it's like, oh, there were air raids and people would have to go in for the air raids, and so people got used to going underground. So this still happened 300,000 years later. I just wasn't quite convinced.
You didn't buy that?
No, I didn't buy that.
Interesting. You think there might have been a period between the Second World War and 30,000 years later where there weren't air raids?
Yeah, it did occur to me. I mean, fine, but yeah, that was a little example of how the book was about interesting ideas, and just had this one example of a group of people to see it through the lens of, rather than just making it like a thriller about beating up Morlocks.
Yeah.
So that's
he really did beat the shit out of those Morlocks.
Oh my god, didn't he just?
He's sprightly. I didn't think he would be so sprightly.
I know. I don't know where he learned to fight, but...
Yeah, he's doing all
Held his
right.
own, didn't he?
Yeah, he's not some stay-at-home scientist who just reads books all day. that man knows how to hit someone with a stick.
He's mixed martial arts and he breaks, doesn't he?
So I've actually got it written down here. This fight scene is a mess. The conclusive fight scene where they burn down the whole underground bit just went on for so long, and there were so many different groups of Morlocks fighting at different times all over the place. It was rubbish. Did you like that? Was it kind of fun?
I thought it was fun.
Yeah, okay. It wasn't quite
exciting.
Helm's Deep, was it?
Not quite. Also, when he's like, "Well, that's the end of that problem," and I'm like, "They're still alive. There's so many of them left." But he went back, so he probably, killed the rest of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Finished what he'd started. Yeah.
Walk outside of the 10-minute radius of where he stopped.
You've seen 2 places that Morlocks live, and he destroyed one of them and was like, well, that's fine then. And the whole planet.
He's like, "Hope you learn quickly how to fend for yourselves."
Yeah. I did like that the Eloi had it in them, which again was not the idea in the book. The idea in the book was that they were like half the height of a human today, and basically had no strength at all and couldn't do a thing. Whereas this was like, well, really, he needed to light the spark in them, and suddenly they know how to fight.
Yeah, they totally just changed that so they could keep the sexy women in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was so this was maybe a question for everyone. So he called it cannibalism when they were eating the Eloi. At what point does it stop being cannibalism?
Good question.
Yeah.
They're both descended from humans, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, at some point
Not
it's
quite
not.
cannibalism, though, is it?
We're all descended from a common ancestor.
It's true.
Like us and plants. Is that cannibalism?
I think they reckon Neanderthals
Vegans.
and Homo sapiens used to eat each other because they sort of saw each other as a different animal.
Interesting.
Well, one used to eat the other. I can't remember which way around it was. Probably us eating them.
Bacteria eat bacteria.
That's true. Yeah. We don't go around calling them names like cannibal, do we? We just leave them to it.
Yeah.
Also, he really jumped to that conclusion just by seeing a bunch of skeletons.
Oh!
It's okay, the music was with him.
And the weird curtain thing, what was the point in the curtain thing? We should protect their modesty while we're preparing to eat them.
Yeah, go into the cannibalism den. Keep them fresh. Or...
We won't have like a door or a wall. We'll just have a little sheet. That'll serve whatever purpose we have. Sorry.
A really tattered sheet for a race that spends half their time making clothes. Really quite nice clothes for the Eloi, and they didn't have a lot going for them downstairs.
Yeah, I did have a lot of beef with it, and I opened my notebook to start writing down things I had beef with, and I was like, no, this is just going to be me nitpicking for an hour and 40 minutes. That is not going to be fun for anyone. So I resisted the urge and therefore took no notes.
Okay. Still, you could probably enough material that you can remember a lot of it, right?
Yeah, there was quite a lot of nitpicking to be done.
Yeah.
Do you reckon they were cannibals?
Well, they did say that the Morlocks used the Eloi for sexual reproduction. They not? Maybe I just...
Did they say that?
I'm actually not sure.
Yeah.
They did.
Didn't they say they bred them?
I thought that was in the same way we breed cattle.
They even said like cattle, didn't they?
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Not breeding
That
with
would be
each
weird.
other.
Oh. Well, in
I
that
think-
case, maybe yes. In that case, maybe not. They were not. They were just eating some other animal, some other species.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe they were distinct enough.
So presumably they just ate them alive.
What?
Well, they can't cook them.
Exactly.
Definitely eating them raw.
Oh yeah, they don't use fire, do they?
Mm.
Wow.
Grim.
Yeah, I don't like that.
But what if they just put them outside and the sun cooks the meat?
That's true.
Maybe you can just put some lemon.
That's how the sun works.
That's what some fishermen do, and some fishermen do, isn't they? Just
Yeah.
kill the fish, open it, and then put some lime and put it to the sun, and it
Okay,
cooks.
so interesting.
Like sun-dried tomatoes, but with fish.
I suppose.
Yeah, okay. I like it.
The acid helps set the proteins. So it doesn't
That's
like
why the lime juice.
yeah.
Okay.
So it doesn't like heat it enough to cook it in the sense that it would do in the pan, but it will sort of cure it in a way that will make it have the same texture as
Right.
cooked meat.
Interesting.
But it uses the heat from the sun to help with that process. Okay. It's making me more hungry thinking about it.
I'm starving.
I really want
Right.
some cured.
Well, I've got a lot more to say.
Great. Can we talk about his friends?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Oh, a
Oh,
bunch of
who
doubting
was your
Thomases, eh?
Yeah. Bloody.
Oh, I think we know who our favourite was, right?
the Scottish
I
guy.
didn't
Yeah.
like him.
Oh no!
I really didn't like him. He was annoying.
Oh no! Do you prefer the others?
I think. Oh, that's what I was going to say. First of all, Disney cast.
Yeah?
H.G. Wells is Pongo, 101 Dalmatians,
Sorry, who's H.G. Wells?
the main character.
George.
Oh, George.
George.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I don't think that's meant to be H.G. Wells.
It is.
Really?
Yeah.
Does it?
It says on the time machine built by H. George Wells.
All right. Oh, that's a nice touch.
And the book is in the first person.
No,
Is it not?
nearly. The book has an untitled main character,
Oh.
and most of the book is told. Like, there's a little frame, and I think the whole book has like a quote mark at
Yeah.
the start of every paragraph. Yeah, sorry, go on.
Oh, cool. Oh, sorry, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh,
Pongo.
Pongo, Bagheera,
Who was Bagheera?
the doctor.
Oh, the short one.
Yeah,
Oh, interesting.
The doubting Thomas.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. He was Bagheera, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, so Pongo was American.
was he?
The time traveller was American, right?
Was he?
He sounded American to me.
He had one of those accents that I can.
I think he was
never
trying to be English, but was very
Yeah.
clearly American.
tell. Okay.
But Pongo had an impeccable English accent in 101 Dalmatians, the main... Have you seen 101 Dalmatians?
I'm actually not sure, and if I have seen it, then I've seen it in Spanish.
Yeah, okay.
Uh-huh.
Wonderful film. I love it. Watched it a couple of weekends ago, actually.
It's great.
Oh,
Anyone else?
Oh, there was someone else. Now I forgot.
Oh,
Another Disney character.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Was it the-
one of the friends? I think.
oh
I can't
okay.
remember.
I was going to say, was it the maid? Because she seemed like she could have been done a few bit parts.
Oh, the puppies are here! Yeah.
I think. Oh, who is it? She reminded me of. I can see her, but I can't see what cartoon she's in. There's one we've watched recently.
Okay. Mrs. Potts from Beauty and the Beast.
Nah, she's a teapot.
Oh yeah, sorry. My mistake.
I would know Angela Lansbury.
Yeah, oh gosh.
Give me some credit.
Yeah.
Yeah, his friends had weird reactions to things.
Mm.
Either they totally didn't believe it, but then at one point they start talking about, have you thought about the commercial value of this?
A time machine, how are you not impressed by this? It's ridiculous.
But the Boer War's going on, so you really ought to think about where your priorities lie.
Think of how much you could do with a time machine to win the Boer War.
But you could also make guns better.
Yeah, you can go forwards in time, get the better guns, bring them back, and win the Boer War with them.
Didn't realise he was such a war dog.
I'm trying to give you the
Jeez,
idea that
Michael, stop inciting
a
violence.
time machine does include quite a
Yeah.
lot of military applications that I think if that guy had had the slightest bit of Yeah, that were just totally unbelievable reactions. Didn't get it.
I like the one that had a drink in his hand at all times.
I didn't know
I
that.
enjoyed him. It's like sat down at the dinner table and poured himself a glass of wine.
Oh yeah.
And then once he'd handed it over, poured himself another one.
Yeah, he was on his second sherry in the 2-minute scene that they had outside there. Yeah.
And then the subsequent scenes he was in, he always had a drink in his hand. I think he was my favourite.
Wow, around Christmas I'm a bit like that. So,
Yeah. He's bringing in the new year.
yeah. I mean, that was pushing it the 5th of January, but I've been there. I'd be like, I think the 12 days of Christmas include the 5th of January. Yeah. Give me another mince pie. And a 4th glass of sherry. Yeah. I'm all for that.
What else have you got written down?
Right, so the film never goes into detail about the science. Did, as people who have never read the book, did you get what they were talking about with the 4th dimension?
A bit.
Yeah, because they really didn't explain it properly. And
I thought that was just a standard thing nowadays, though.
I think among people who've read The Time Machine or studied physics or whatever, but I've never heard of that outside The Time Machine and occasionally talking to you lot, scientists.
Okay. I just thought...
I think it is accepted by scientists, but
Yeah, okay.
it's, I don't think, very well known.
People not read Brief History of Time, Ryan.
Not me.
What do people do in their time?
But yeah, in the book it's quite well explained, and all they would have needed was a couple of extra lines to say, this object has breadth, width, height, and duration, and you can think of duration as a length of time. And that was exactly how it's described in the book, and that really gave an explanation of what the 4th dimension is, and then explained things like why the time machine seemed to disappear when it moved forward through time. Because if you're moving through time, you should still be able to see it, right? But it disappears, and they explain that in the book by saying, just as if you stretch something out in one dimension, it gets thinner in the other dimensions in just the same way. The time machine fades more and more the faster you go and seems to disappear altogether. And little things like that really made it more convincing and less just let's use some crazy words like dimension. Yeah.
I mean, that's always a risk with sci-fi, though, isn't it? You're making up a principle and then building a story around it. So if you go into too much detail, you just tie yourself in knots and prove it's impossible as part of the story. So I'm willing to forgive them not really going into it very much.
Okay.
Sometimes I think the less they go into it, the better.
Fair enough.
Because it just means that you can enjoy the story more.
Yeah, cool.
That's my opinion on it.
Did we like that the Eloi were all Aryans?
Oh yeah,
I think
I mentioned that.
That's the perfect race. They all need to be blonde.
They were in the book, though, wasn't it? They had blonde curly hair.
Really? Okay.
And they were little and pudgy. Not pudgy, but...
Yeah, just really diminutive, tiny children, yeah. It's just a funny thing to be like, I mean, okay, it sort of makes sense have them all have a striking single aesthetic, but why that one? That's an interesting way to go. I guess it makes them look delicate and dainty or whatever, but it just made me chuckle.
That's a racism.
Yeah, just a little touch of it. And while we're on the subject, sorry, people of Bali, we're going to pick out this one place in the whole world and slag it off. Do you remember this?
No.
The time travel. You remember this? The time traveller's apologising to Weena and saying, "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have been angry with your people.
Oh yeah.
I should
understand
what
Bali.
they're doing." It's just like if I was talking to someone from Bali, specifically Bali, bloody savages. And and he was making a fair point, which is like, you can't judge another culture by the standards of your own culture, but it's like, you know, Bali. I wonder how many Balians have seen this film and be like, fuck you.
Yeah. Bad racism.
Yeah, just a touch of racism there, yeah.
Do you think it's banned in Bali? Like, do you think
Maybe.
cinemas refuse to show it?
Yeah, you have to go to, like, Java to go.
Or they dub over instead of Bali. They...
Yeah. It's like if I'd-
Sumatra.
no more justified than if I'd been talking to someone from Papua New Guinea. Yeah. That was good fun.
Some good jovial racism.
And I think H.G. Wells would have been upset to think that we would be sitting around now talking about how racist that bit is, because he was a pretty hardcore anti-imperialist for the time, who wrote some pretty damning things about the British Empire and the government, and I don't think did draw that kind of comparison in the book. Shame.
But they were all massive racists anyway. So.
Yeah.
Who was the Eli?
No, I mean, no, everyone of that time. H.G. Wells probably a massive racist.
Yeah,
Almost
probably.
guaranteed.
We'll go with that. Better than some of the others, though, H.G. Wells. Bless him. I really like H.G. Wells. I've read just a few of his books and they've all been spot on. Really good stuff. Just going to throw that out there.
Okay.
I enjoyed the one you gave me, which I've yet to give back. Which I
Oh, yeah. Oh, because you haven't read the second
second
story,
one. I
which
wanted
is
the
crap.
What did you give me?
This was... What was the first story called?
I can't remember what it was called. It was about the garden.
It was called the door... the door in the wall.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
that's it.
Never heard of it.
And it's a really short story. It takes like... It took me like an hour to read, and I'm a really slow reader. And it's
Sessions,
just so good. Oh, that was over a few sessions. I was travelling, so I think I did it all in one train journey for like 15 minutes at a time. But it was just so touching. It really made me think for ages afterwards, and really made me like feel feelings and stuff. It was like a proper
Did you
book.
think thoughts and feel feelings?
Yeah, it was great.
Wow.
The Time Machine just made me think thoughts.
Okay.
And the other one he did that was a bit sort of horror-ish just made me feel feelings, but this one did both. Yeah.
It made me think the thoughts that if only I was a twinky little dumb blonde lady, I could catch myself a man.
Yeah. All you'd need to do is nearly drown.
Just nearly drown and have no thoughts or opinions on anything.
Yeah. That romance just was a bit weird, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy the romance between the time traveller and Weena?
I enjoyed it as much as anything else in the movie. I think.
Good answer.
But you liked the movie, so...
Yeah, so I did enjoy it.
Sorry, we've just been sitting here slagging it off. We should let you chip in with some defence.
Well, I mean, I have said something. I think I've said that I've changed my mind. I think I do like it now. Oh, that's my only opinion.
Good stuff, that's allowed.
Excellent.
Yeah. It had its moments though.
Did it?
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess. I was never bored.
So bored.
I
Yeah,
really
I
didn't
wasn't
find it boring.
bored.
But then I had no idea what was coming next. It was
Yeah,
very exciting. Where's it going to end up?
Yeah.
3 places.
Two of which were sort of in the recent past from our perspective.
What 3 books do you think he took back to the future?
Oh, that was
Oh,
question.
yeah.
Which 3 books would you choose?
Well, he definitely took the Bible, because,
Yeah,
you know,
you
it's the olden days.
civilise those people.
By that
Yeah,
you mean
take them
fundamentals of semi-group theory?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
that one.
absolutely. John Howie.
Moby Dick, so we could draw comparisons between the...
Where would we be without Moby Dick? Yeah, he was obsessive, wasn't he? Just like Captain Ahab, and Wiener was his white whale.
I thought Time was the white whale.
Oh.
Oh. 3 deep, 5 me.
What?
It's like 2 deep, but 2 deep for me, but more so.
Added 1 to each of the numbers.
Nice.
It's really, really
That's
deep.
great.
You can have that one for free if you want to use that one.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I'm trying to think of
What
it.
would I have taken?
Yeah. What books were written then? It was ages ago.
It was.
Do you think you'd have taken War of the Worlds?
Maybe. Yeah, that would be a really
He took
trashy
his own
thing
book.
to put in your book. Be like, and he took his favourite book. Glanced at the RRP £9.99 sticker on the back of it and put it in his bag.
Available at.
Oh, that'd be lame.
Yeah, do you think he would have taken fiction? Knowingly taken fiction?
No.
I would. He's got to have something to read when he's travelling through time.
Yeah, exactly. He's got to take a good... Oh, he could have taken Shakespeare's complete works. That'd have kept him going for ages.
You're not allowed to choose that one though, are you?
No, you get given that.
You get given that.
And the Bible.
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you ever listen to Desert Island Discs? Yeah.
I reckon he'd have taken Euclid's Elements. Because you can build everything from there, can't you? That's just all the knowledge.
No, that's good stuff. Just geometry though. I feel like you could do better.
Principia?
Say again?
Newton's Principia, however it's
Oh,
called.
sorry, yes, it's got to be something that was published
Oh, yeah,
at that time, yeah. Yeah, Principia would be alright. No, that's Newtonian mechanics, right? Yeah. Yeah, you did pretty well with that.
Obviously, I would choose a chemistry book, but chemistry didn't really exist
Okay.
What?
when this was written, so...
Did it not? Was there not like a periodic table by then? And
Barely.
alright.
They were only piecing it together at that point.
How old is the periodic table that they're showing in the library?
Yeah, I think it's like turn of the century. It's not...
Around 1900.
Like pre-1900, but not... Like it's late.
Oh, I thought it was 1830 or something stupid, but
Okay,
yeah,
sure.
I don't know this stuff.
I thought it was like 1500 or something.
Okay, I don't know.
Yeah, so did I. I just made the assumption. That looks very old.
I feel like I should know the exact date, but I don't.
Well, Newton did a load of stuff on alchemy, didn't he? That was just way pre-chemistry.
Yeah,
Just
that was-
crackpot stuff by today's standards. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I am biased because I do only care about organic chemistry.
Yeah, you only look at the first 2 rows, don't you? And that's it for you.
Oh no, there's that big bit in the middle, which is where all the catalysts are.
No.
No.
I think you'd have to take 1 fiction, 1 science.
So we've got them already.
He seemed to be very practical, Did he? It seemed like he really wanted to build a civilization again. So maybe
He didn't take anything with him.
all 3 books.
But yeah, but
I see what you mean. I don't think he'd have taken some
Fiction.
poems with him.
I see what you mean. Yes.
Yeah, he was practical in his outlook, though not actually very good at applying that principle. Yeah.
Oh, I think just in that one question, it's redeemed itself. This is a really good talking point, isn't it?
Look at the end, some exercises
Yeah.
at the end of the chapter. But also, really shit, lame ending to the film, right? Well, like, they've lost their friend and employer forever. And they've just been like, oh, I wonder which 3 books he took. And then the housekeeper's like, yeah, good night. Good night. Closed the door and went back into the empty house that she now presumably can't live in anymore.
Yeah.
He might come back though.
Yeah.
Surely. Like, he can just come back. He could go back to that precise moment.
He could do.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume that he doesn't just...
We do know that quite soon after his house went into disrepair.
That's true.
Yeah.
But only in the scenario where,
Mm.
you know, I don't think they... Maybe
They don't bloody address it, do they?
No.
Yeah, don't know which one of these interpretations of time travel, because we saw his house get knocked down and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that was sort of the nice ending of it, in a way, which is that the Scottish man got into the taxi, and we know that he is then going to spend the rest of his life preserving that house for his friend to come back.
till he dies in the war.
Till he dies in the war.
Thanks for the heads up.
Oh, yeah. I won't mention any of this. Oh, it was just unbelievable, wasn't it? The way that they all went through the story. It's just like they wrote an outline of what they wanted to happen in the story, which was basically defined by the book, and then just filled it in with guesswork and thinking that'll do. Yeah, sorry, disappointed. How do they all speak English?
Yeah, I wanted that as
They
well.
don't. That's quite a big part of the book, isn't it?
Yeah, he can't communicate with them in almost any way, and they're children to him, and Weena is like a sort of a child that's sort of fascinated by him and follows him round a bit. Not the sexy lady that...
Yeah. And I think she makes a sound that sounded something like Weena.
So I decided to call her Weena.
Yeah.
Are there women in your time?
Yeah. God's sake.
I mean, at least she said
Still
something, but my God.
She did show some curiosity, that, you know, asking questions. It's pretty advanced for her species.
How do they wear their hair?
How do they wear
Oh, like this. Oh, I see. That's cleared that up for us.
Naff. Truly naff. So if the Morlocks are gone, how are they going to get their clothes?
Yeah, well,
Are they going to have to learn to do that? I guess food, they just need to go and pick it, don't they? But
Oh, maybe that's what he took. Was like some knitting patterns or something.
oh, yeah. Oh, we all knew it was going to be important one day.
symbolism?
Oh, symbolism.
Don't know what the hell.
Ding, ding.
We could have something here. We don't have symbolism. Oh, very nice.
Thank you.
That was even better.
Improvisation.
We haven't done the chant for a while. Symbolism. There must have been some symbolism.
There must have been.
I think it was all symbolism. It was just one big symbol.
And with that.
What do you think it was a symbol for?
So is it possible that the symbolism was... So we saw a literal interpretation of the distant future, and was that a symbol for the near future in the filmmaker's point of view? That people were losing curiosity and losing the ability to do things for themselves.
I think it was more like a symbol for the status quo. I think, as you were alluding to, there were the workers and there was the bourgeoisie. I don't think it was the near future. I think it was an exaggeration to comment on the status quo.
I can definitely believe that with the book, but they really threw that out the window here by having this whole thing with air raids,
No, that's true.
nuclear wars.
Right, we've got this perfect Aryan race being subjugated
Great.
by
That's what we
people
need.
who are obviously meant to be people of colour, right? Not obviously, but I'm
You're
just
saying
making this
obviously,
up
are
now.
we? Okay, yeah, we'll go with it.
So they were blue.
They were blue,
Yeah,
which
that
is
is
the
a colour.
classic. It's the classic fucking Avatar did it as well. If you want to symbolise people of colour, you make them blue.
Yeah.
Or aliens
Smart
or
stuff.
something.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Wasn't the first interracial kiss on US TV in Star Trek and the girl was blue?
Oh.
Have I got that right? Sorry, go on.
Meriting the intervention of the imperial white man, even if he's against imperialism himself, but you know, the white man needed to come and rescue these white people from the dominating influence by just killing them all.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's something in that.
Yeah, why did he sympathise with the Eloi and not the Morlocks?
Thinking with his dick, wasn't he?
Must have been girl Morlocks.
Maybe they were all girl Morlocks.
Yeah. Well, they were doing all the bloody work, weren't they? But yeah, he just wiped out half the human race because they were immoral.
Yeah, he didn't really think much about it, did he?
Yeah. You're being mean to my girlfriend. I'm going to set you on fire, bruv.
Destroy your entire underworld kingdom.
Mm-hmm. With all machinery that still exists on Earth, we're just going to burn that because you haven't got the same moral framework as I have.
Typical bloody men, eh?
Yeah, what are they like? Yeah, I'll go for that.
Yep.
I mean, I don't think there was actually a lot of meaning in the film, but yes, why not? We've got to go for something. H.G. Wells said explicitly that the War of the Worlds can be seen as an allegory for imperialism. The Martians, I don't know if you know the story of War of the Worlds.
A bit.
Yeah, the Martians turn up and attempts to wipe out the human race, and eventually are destroyed by bacteria. But he wrote in some newspaper column saying we could compare ourselves to the Martians because we go and just colonise other places that don't want us, and we see ourselves as superior, so we think we have the right just to wipe them out. But we're worse than them. We can, at least the Martians have the defence that they are wiping out what they see as a lower form of life. We know full well that that we're wiping out people like us. We could at least think that the Martians maybe see us as insects or something, but we have no excuse. And he was writing this in 1905 or something.
What a guy!
Yeah, it's all right.
I suppose the one thing that doesn't fit with that is that the germs killed all the people we invaded, because we took loads of disease that they hadn't grown immune to.
Yeah, and somehow we didn't catch any from them.
That would have been better though, wouldn't it? More proper.
Yes, I don't know if he commented on what the Martians dying from bacteria was meant to symbolise. Maybe just that it's just an utterly unsupportable, unnatural state of affairs to have someone turn up and try to rule. I don't have any other notes on the film though.
I think I've said everything.
The only other thing that I would like to say is that I was happy to see where the specific model for the time machine that I once was, and I never watched the Big Bang Theory, but I've seen, I think, maybe 3 episodes, and in one of them they have the replica of this time machine, and I was like, I never understood it until now, and it's like, oh, nice. Here it is.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's a nice touch.
Yes.
That's cool. I like it.
The other thing that I would like to say is that I tend to disregard the opinions of the author.
Right.
Yes.
This is good.
I don't really like. It's okay that they wrote the book, but I'm okay without their input. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think there's something to be said for that. So you're not a fan of J.K. Rowling going on Twitter and being like, oh, by the way, this character was gay, I just decided. I didn't write it in the book, but he was.
Well, I really like the memes that have been created because of that, I think. Okay. She's in the round table along with some other people saying, Maybe I should have thought this through.
Is that what you said?
No.
Pardon me.
No problem.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter. I can't remember. But another one that I do remember is apparently being gay is just not a choice that you can make. It's something that happens to you when J.K. Rowling decides.
Oh yeah.
That's good.
That makes sense. You know, these interviews, they do the parodies and they go around and say, oh, so when did you decide you were straight? You're like, so when did J.K. Rowling decide you were gay?
Good. So you're not interested in an author's point of view on their own work?
I mean, I guess I take it as one more interpretation of the work, yes.
So if they want something to be clear, they should make it clear in the work. And if they want it to be ambiguous, then they should leave it ambiguous.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I like it.
What if they're just not very good at writing and they've tried to make it clear but left it ambiguous? And then afterwards they just want to clarify. By the way, I'm not a racist or something like that.
Yeah, that would be a little different, wouldn't it? Well, in which case I think whoever made this film can should maybe just have a little. We should give them a chance to explain what they were doing.
Would you like to comment?
I didn't think that was overtly racist, but it's just funny, wasn't it?
It was covertly racist.
Yeah, just a little. Wiener. Well, we don't have the hat here, but we do actually know that it is Fernando this time.
Yay! Unfortunately.
No, we always do it. Get a piece of paper.
Get a piece of paper. Here's a piece of paper. Is there a bit that looks like Fernando? There's an F. I'll tear that out.
Great.
Perfect.
Someone give me a piece of clothing.
Oh.
Okay, I guess I need to draw it out of the slipper then. And it's set. Well, I can't open it now. It's me. No, it's Fernando.
Yay!
Thank you.
You have your film?
Unfortunately, as always, I don't have the film right now.
Oh, you can let
But
us know.
yes, I'll choose it soon. Yes.
Awesome.
Let's get Chinese!
Yay!